In a quiet village nestled between two hills, there lived an old woodcarver named Taren. His hands were gnarled like the roots of the trees he carved, and his eyes were dim, but his mind remained sharp as the chisel he used every day. People from neighboring villages often came to him not just for his skill, but for his wisdom. He was known to speak little, but when he did, his words carried the weight of decades. One spring morning, a young boy named Emrik stormed into Taren's workshop. His face was flushed with anger, and his fists were clenched. "She called me useless," Emrik said through gritted teeth. "In front of everyone." I wanted to shout back. I wanted to tell her she's the one who's worthless. Taren didn't look up from the wooden bird he was shaping. He let the silence stretch until Emrik shifted uncomfortably. "You did not say those words, did you?" Taren asked without looking up. "No," Emrik muttered. "But I wanted to." Taren nodded slowly, setting his carving aside. He motioned for Emrik to follow him outside. They walked up a narrow path behind the shop that led to a high overlook. From there, the whole village could be seen: rooftops, smoke curling from chimneys, children playing in the dirt lanes. Taren held a small leather pouch in his hand, one Emrik hadn't noticed before. "What's that?" Emrik asked. Taren opened the pouch and let a handful of feathers loose into the wind. They danced and twirled, caught in the breeze, until they were scattered far beyond the hills. "I want you to go and gather them," Taren said. Emrik blinked. "That's impossible. They're already gone." Taren turned to him with calm eyes. "So it is with words. Once spoken, you cannot take them back. They travel further than you know, and no hand can gather them again." "But I didn't say anything," Emrik replied. "No," said Taren. "But your anger almost did. And had you spoken, her words would have taken root in you, and yours in her. And where would that path lead?" Emrik looked down. "I don't know. Hate answers hate. It is the easiest thing to do. But a wise tongue holds more power than a sharp one. Just as a sculptor chooses where to strike the wood, a person must choose when to speak." They stood in silence for a while. The wind tugged gently at their clothes. A bird called in the distance. "Do you think I'm useless?" Emrik asked finally. Taren turned to him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You are young, and youth is often mistaken for worthlessness. But within you is the same tree I carve every day. Rough, unshaped, full of potential. With time and care, it becomes something no one can ignore. But only if you are not broken by thoughtless words." Emrik's shoulders loosened, and he looked out over the valley. The anger had not disappeared entirely, but it had faded into something else: thoughtfulness, perhaps. Or patience. On the walk back, he didn't say much, but his steps were slower, his breathing steadier. Years later, Emrik would grow into a teacher, one who told his students the story of the feathers and the wind. He would remember the sting of a cruel word, and the strength it took to hold his tongue. And sometimes, when someone came to him with a storm in their heart, he would hand them a pouch of feathers and take them for a walk. Choose your words with care. They can either be daggers or seeds. One wounds. The other grows.